What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Dudes Who Bet Sports, October 6, 2022. We've got an awesome Thursday worth of action, a lot better than we having to go to the preseason hockey world like we did last night. We're talking a little about the World Series, who our picks are for that, as well as the exact picks for us. So you can get some little better odds. Got a little Aqueduct talk. We got a nice pick 6 carryover there. My best bet's going at Aqueduct. And of course, we've got the Colts and we've got the Broncos tonight as well for Thursday Night Football. We got our college in yesterday. Nice pick, Aaron. Way to get that UCF home there, minus 2.5. That got very easy once we got in the second half. But let's kick it off with the World Series here. Let's start talking about baseball. We got the playoffs that start tomorrow. We'll pull the odds up here for the World Series. Aaron, I'll kick it off with you here. Does anyone jump out off this page of these numbers for you?
Well, I kind of like the Astros, and I don't, love 4-1 all that much, but I do think they're the most complete team. I think they're the best team out of all of them here. I didn't want to take the Yankees at 5-1. If they were more like 8-1, I maybe would take a swing with them because I do think they're playing better. But I just think the Astros are a better team than them. 4-1 versus 5-1. I'm going to take Houston. I like the Braves a bit, but again, I analyze it. It's the same thing. It's like, Houston's a little bit better. It's 4-1 versus 5-1. I can't really, go with the Braves in that situation. So I went Houston. I really like them. I like the 4-1 enough.
You should buy your mattress because Mattress Mac going to be running that promotion. If the Astros win the World Series, you get a free mattress. Papa Dude, it's tough to get around one of the top 6 teams here. That was my biggest struggle. I couldn't really find a massive price here. Did you dig past those first 6? Or did you take one of the more chalky teams?
The only one I would look at, and again, this is dumb because it's killed us so many times.
Oh, no. The Cardinals.
Are the Cardinals. But I just don't. Now, wait a minute. I didn't say I would pick them, okay? Aaron, listen to the question that was asked me. Is there anyone after the top 6 that I would look at? So I'm going to go with number 7. I don't think that's too much of a stretch here. And it's simply because there's some sentimental things going here. There's some mojo going with Pujols, Molina and Wainwright. Sometimes crazy stuff happens, but I don't think the Cardinals have the pitching. I don't think they're deep enough at pitching to go very far. And, you got to kind of look at any of these teams that are in a best of 3 series. Man, that's sketchy to look. Anything can happen in that. I think the Dodgers have the best pitching. I don't know if they, sometimes those teams that have such a fantastic record, they don't get through the playoffs. I like Atlanta. The Braves are playing really, really well right now. And they made a great run to oust the Mets, trailed them all year, and then beat them out. So I like the Braves somewhat. I do think Houston's probably the best team. So, yeah, it's hard to go against those 3 teams, the Dodgers, the Astros, and the Braves.
Yeah, I really wanted to pick the Mets. I mean, they got DeGrom back. You assume he's starting to get a little healthier. I do think the Dodgers are a little bit vulnerable. Gosselin's coming back later in the season, only pitched a couple innings in his first start. Looked okay, but he's not going to be the pitcher he was during the main course of the year. And you have Kershaw, who's going to be their number 2, and he's someone who's struggled at times inside the playoffs. So, you have very good pitching, but you got the injury that comes up. You've got Urias, who obviously very, very good at the top of that rotation. I just can't swallow the 3-1 there. I wanted to take the Mets at 750 because I thought that there's a good value there. Like I said, DeGrom coming back. You've got Walker there, good pitching, but their bats are just ice cold right now.
Yeah.
The last thing I want is bats that can't hit against the other team's best pitchers in a 3-game series. That just scares the crap out of me.
Yep.
So I think San Diego will beat the Mets. I
wouldn't be shocked. I mean, if I was going to sprinkle, it would be San Diego. I think the NL is more wide open than the AL is in that sense. I think San Diego 20-1 is not the worst route you can take. I'm going to agree with Papa Dude. I like the Braves here. I think that their pitching is solid. I think you can get around the Dodgers. I think the Mets are a little bit weaker. I think the Astros, the Yankees, the Blue Jays, all pretty good. But I'll take the Braves at 5-1. I think that's the best odds here if you're going straight win bet. Now, we can make it a little spicy. I found this, so I wanted to pull it up here. It's a little bit more fun from an odds perspective. Exact World Series results.
Ugh.
So here we go. This is the question here if you want to get some good numbers. Your favorite here is the Dodgers over the Yankees at 12-1 or the Dodgers over the Astros at 12-1. But it gets pretty juicy pretty fast if you want to put in any type of upset here. So, Aaron, I'll kick this over to you first. What intrigues you here? I know you had Houston winning. So who do you like from the NL to get a little bit of a price here?
Yeah, give me the Astros and the Braves plus 1,400 there. I like it. Give it to me all day. I'm with you guys. I love the Braves, and out of the three of us, I'm the only one that have seen the Braves live and in person this year, and that makes a difference in these situations. So, no, I like the Braves a lot. You guys hit on the head. They're playing so good right now, but I do think Houston's a little better. So, give me Houston, Atlanta, and Houston going over there 14-1. I like it.
Sounds good. Yeah, 14. This is the beauty of this, right? You're getting 14-1 versus the 4-1 price. And yes, it's a little longer to hit, harder to hit, but you can sprinkle on a couple of these and have a little bit of fun. Papa Dude, you went with the Braves like I did to win it. Are you going to take the Braves over someone here as well to try and find that price?
Well, I probably would do what Aaron did, because I think Houston might be the best team in baseball. But I'll go ahead, and Mike, you might be doing the same thing. I'll go ahead and take the Braves over Houston at 15-1. I'll go ahead and do that since Aaron took the other one, because I think the Braves could win it. I really do. They're experienced. They're defending champions. They know how to win, and they're playing great. They're playing fantastic. And, when you get in the playoffs, you got to look at a team that had to win down the stretch. The Dodgers didn't. They kind of coasted down the stretch. You lose that edge a little bit. We've seen it before. I remember a few years ago, and it's been a long time, when Seattle had that tremendous record. Yeah. You guys remember that? I think they won the most games ever in the regular season, maybe.
Yep.
And they didn't even get out of the first round, I don't think. So you lose that edge whenever you're just kind of coasting down the stretch like the Dodgers have.
It's funny, you see that in hockey a lot too, where the President's Trophy winner struggles in the regular season because they start to sit players, and then all of a sudden this team that's been grinding and been in playoff mode for weeks now faces a team that's kind of been coasting, and often that can cause some issues. The Dodgers, obviously, one of the best teams we've seen in a while in baseball from a record perspective, so they've been on cruise control for quite a bit of time. Yeah, I agree with you, Papa Dude. I'm going to stick with the Braves, and I want to try and find a little bit better of a price. I kind of like Braves over Blue Jays at 25-1, getting a little bit more spicy there from a price perspective. But I really do agree. I think Atlanta over Houston's probably my play as well, 15-1. It's funny. I think Houston and Atlanta are the two teams that I want out of each of these conferences. So I'll take those two at 15-1. But I wouldn't mind sprinkling a little bit around, because probably Toronto over Atlanta 35-1. You get some of these interesting ones. If you like the Cardinals, like Yankees over Cardinals, 40-1, Papa Dude. That's not so bad.
No, I'm not high on the Yankees. That's the problem. And I think because they're the Yankees, they're the ones that are, the Dodgers beating that's the favorite. And I think it's because it's the Yankees. I really do.
That's the thing. Both these New York teams, you're not getting any value on them because they're the New York teams. Like the Mets should be about 10-1. And I mentioned it. The Yankees should be about 8-1.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I actually like the Mets better than I do the Yankees, to be honest.
I like Ashley chiming in here. The Blue Jays can mash, man. They can hit the ball, and that they're the team from the AL that I think is a little bit interesting, because while they don't have the same pitching as some of the top lineups, they can hit, and they can cause some trouble. They've seen a lot of the pitchers from the Yankees because they're in the same division. They'd be the spicy one to me from the AL if I was looking at somebody.
I think that'd be cool if the Blue Jays made a run. I've always liked the Blue Jays for some reason, so.
I like this team too. I like Bichette and Guerrero. They're fun.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Let's not forget one thing, though. Good pitching stops good hitting.
Yeah.
The other team I think that's a little bit interesting and had to play pretty well down the stretch and did are the Guardians. I don't think they're good enough. I don't think they can make it. Yeah. But it might upset somebody along the way.
And they have two pitchers who are very good too, and Bieber and McKenzie too. If McKenzie's pitching well, he can be a good number two here. Obviously, Jose Ramirez, phenomenal third baseman as well. Very good bat. So the Guardians not a bad one either. It's going to be fun. We'll see how this shakes out. See what kind of upsets we get early. Both Papa Dude and I going Atlanta 5-1. Aaron going Houston 6-1. And then the props here, we're looking at Aaron's going Houston over Atlanta 14-1, and Papa Dude and I are going Atlanta over Houston at 15-1. So fun little way here to try and play the MLB playoffs. I'm sure you'll have some single bane bets coming from us as we go through this process. All right, let's jump into some best bets here. We'll go to the Thursday night football game to kick this off. We've got two bets from there actually. So I'll pull this out. And Papa Dude, do you want to start out with the Thursday night game for us?
I sure will. I really, the best bet I think tonight, I didn't do it because the value's not there. If I'm stealing somebody's, let me know, because it's an under. Does anybody know what I'm talking. I'm not stealing anybody's. Okay.
No.
To me, the best bet tonight is to bet the under on Denver's team total at 23.5. But it was minus 135. So I didn't do that. So I just went the total team over under of 42 between the two teams. And the way I did this, and I've done this a lot, and it works out pretty good. I took how many points a game that Denver's averaging. And they're averaging a little bit over 16. And the Colts are giving up 21 a game. So you just average that out, and it's around 18.5, 19. So then you do the other way. Denver's giving up 17. The Colts are scoring 14.25. That comes out to 15.5. So 19 and 15.5 is not 42. So if everything goes the way it's supposed to, I think I cashed this one. But of course, this is football. We don't know what kind of turnovers are going to be, what kind of stupidity is going to happen from both, or from Denver for sure, and Indianapolis. So we don't know. But I kind of like this, and it was minus 110. So I think it's and the unders are coming in a lot in the NFL right now. The thing worries me a little bit. Wilson played a little better last week, and Denver started getting going some. And Indy's given up some points. So it's a little bit of a worry there, but I'm going to go with that.
It's an interesting game here. You got Nathaniel Hackett, who was awful in the first 2 weeks. He's a little bit better the last two. First Thursday night football game. That's usually a very big negative for a rookie head coach. I would expect a little bit more vanilla of a game plan. We got both starting running backs out, which is what really screwed me up with the total here, because I lean under here. I agree with you on that front. I actually like the first half under 20.
Yeah, I like that too.
But because I think you're going to see a very vanilla game plan from both these teams in the first half because of the injuries to their running back. Nakeem Hines kind of makes you think the Colts might throw the ball a little bit more, maybe not run it as much as they would have with Jonathan Taylor. Melvin Gordon can't hold on to a football. He's fumbled 6 times in 4 weeks. That's not good. And he's now the starting running back for Denver. So you're wondering if they're going to run the ball that much. And so all of a sudden, these two teams that definitely were more conservative offensively and a little bit slower paced, losing their running backs may create a faster paced game, or at least more passes, which will create more possessions. It's the reason I stayed away from the total here. Is I like the first half because I think you're going to see that vanilla style. The second half, I think they may open it up, and that's what scared me a little bit about this overall total.
Yeah. Makes sense.
All right, Aaron, let's jump over to your best bet. You guys are just poaching my NFL. I couldn't believe it when I got the text from Aaron here. He's going with a side in the same game, forcing me to go to horse racing. Unbelievable, Aaron. All right, tell us why you like Denver here.
I had to do it. Like I said, there's no college game. So what are you going to do? I mean, I wanted to go a college game after the win last night, but there's nothing to do. And then hockey's tomorrow, so we got to wait. Listen, here's the deal. I've got good news for everybody that's worried about the Denver running game. Tonight is the breakout night for Mike Boone. That's right, Mike Boone. Write the name down. He's breaking out tonight. He will be the Denver #1 running back by the time this game is over. That is my first bold prediction. So look for his player props. I don't know what they are. Anyway, Denver -3. Here's why. Indianapolis is trash. They are terrible. They are a train wreck. The Chiefs should quit football for losing to them. It's unbelievable that they went there and lost, as good as the Chiefs are. They're not good. And you know where they're really bad? At quarterback. And you know what's really going to bother Matt Ryan? A great pass rush from Denver. He can't move. I just don't. -3. Look, Denver's not very good, but if they don't beat them by more than that, I don't know what to say. Like, this should be an easy win. The Colts are terrible. Russell Wilson at least looked halfway decent last week, which is more than we could say about Matt Ryan the first 4 weeks. I'll keep on ranting. Mike Boone, big game tonight. Denver -3.
Mike Boone, unfortunately, not on the prop market right now. Pro Football Focus as well as Bookmaker. I agree. This is his second chance. He has started in the NFL before. We'll see if he can pick it up this time. It's a good situation for either of these running backs to step up. You'd think that Melvin Gordon is going to be running like a man possessed when he does get the football. It's just hold on to the rock, buddy. So we'll see what happens there. I would lean Denver in this game as well. I think if you can get Denver 3 -110, that's the bet here for me tonight. So I agree with you, Aaron. I hate taking Nathaniel Hackett in this spot. I really, really do. And I may buy out of some of it at halftime, but they're the better team. And like, they really should be good enough to get the job done here. I don't think you're going to see a ton of points. They, like you mentioned it, Papa Dude mentioned it. Russell Wilson played better last week. You mentioned it. Matt Ryan sucks. Like, that really is the handicap here, right?
Yeah, it is. And look, I think Jonathan Taylor being out hurts Indianapolis a lot more than Williams being out for the Broncos, because I do think the Broncos have got a little bit better depth. I mean, whether you like him or not, Melvin Gordon was carrying the ball a lot. Whether he should have not, that's another discussion. But they kind of have a running back 1A, Like I said, they've got the stud Mike Boone coming back. He's ready to go today too. So listen, I think the Taylor injury really swings us the way of Denver. And it went to 3.5, like you said it would, and now it's back to 3. So that was surprising to me as well.
Yeah, it's juiced most places. So you can get some like minus 116 threes right now. For that's the cheapest one I saw on Bookmaker. There's 120s all over the place if you want to pay the juice a little bit higher at 3. The other key injury here, Shaq Leonard is out for the Colts as well. Their signal caller, their top linebacker. So it's another hit on the Colts side there that probably could affect them. All right, I'm going to take us over to Belmont at Aqueduct here. And there's a nice pick 6 carryover today. Make sure you look at the scratches. We have 6 races that came off the turf. I actually think it's a pretty playable sequence, and the one that I think you're going to see multiple bad favorites. I'm going to go ahead and lean on a horse that I have leaned on before on this show. We're gonna go back to banking on Anna here. So bank on Anna, the 3 horse in the 8th race at Belmont at Aqueduct, going 6.5 furlongs. This is an optional $62,000 optional claimer. We had her last race, an $125,000 stakes race. If you go back to her first start in this 3-year-old campaign, she had a ton of trouble. Came back, absolutely looked like her old self there last time out in the Union Avenue, facing 4-year-olds, so 3-year-olds and up. This is going to be her 3rd start off the layoff, 3rd start late in the 3-year-old campaign, and this just sets up beautifully for her. You have a couple horses that want to be in front of her. She's going to get that nice stalking trip again. She's got the most upside of anybody in the field. I think she's going to be able to roll right by them down the stretch. I don't love the 4, who's your morning line favorite here at 2-1. I think that last race is really what's buoying up the 4 from an odds perspective because of a big buyer and a wire-to-wire win. Bank on Anna is better than any horse I think the 4 has faced so far. So I'm going to go with Bank on Anna here, the 3 horse at 5-2. This is also my single in the pick 6 as well. So hopefully we can get this one home. Aaron, I know you looked at these races. What'd you think of Bank on Anna? Are we going to go 2 for 2 with her?
No, you're going to get beat by the 4, I think. No, listen, I think it's going to be a really good race between these two. I think the 4, winning 3 in a row, certainly looks pretty tough in here. I think the 4 gets the jump on the 3. I think that's the big key to this one. I think she is a little bit faster early, but really it should kind of be a match race between these 2 down the stretch. I don't really like anybody else. I do think it's definitely between those 2. And so the key is going to be, who can outfinish you? A Pratt versus Irad. I mean, what more can you want? What a star-studded day at Belmont on the Big A here on this muddy surface in this allowance spot going 6.5.
Interesting on Masenko. I don't know the last time I saw this. So Dennis Lallman is your trainer. 2022, he has 11 starts. Guess what? All of them are this 4 horse. His only horse in his barn, and his wife owns the horse. So the Lallmans here have 1 horse. He's trained it 11 times. And you got to give him credit, too. Great training job by Dennis Lallman. Some people should look at giving him some other horses. His horses won 3 straight, improving races time after time after time. I mean, like, you kind of got to tip your hat here to Dennis. He's done a great job with this horse. He's 4 for 11 on the year.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it is kind of funny. They're like, piss on it. We're not paying these trainer bills. Forget about it. I know how to train a horse. I'd like to know who this guy is. I've never really heard of him outside of when this horse runs. So
I don't think anyone's heard of him outside of when the horse runs.
Well, this is true. This is
true. Papa, did you get a chance to look at Belmont at Aqueduct at all today?
No, I did not.
It probably wasn't a bad decision. I'm not. It's a fun card, but man, it always sucks when they take 6 races off the turf and the minimum number of scratches are like 6 horses in each race, right, Aaron? It was wild.
Well, you like say it's 6. There's only 9 races, and 6 of them are on the turf. And why do you card that at Belmont at the Big A in October? I don't know, but yeah, it sucked having to go through all that again. Yeah.
Real quick, Aaron, I know that you looked over the card. Do you have any keys to the pick 6 here? 71,000 sitting in that pool. You have anyone that you were thinking about singling in the last 6 races?
Well, I think now that it's off the turf, I think it goes through the 1 in the 7th race. Street Czar. I think that's the horse that if he kind of, I don't know, is that he or she? I think it's he. If it runs back to that effort 2 back, I think the horse is gone and the horse is completely loose on the lead. I thought that was a very difficult race until it came off the turf. So that's kind of where I'm going short now. Yeah, like I said, I'll probably, I would say that's the single. I'm trying to look through. I think that is the most logical single in my opinion.
Yeah, that race 2 back, pretty impressive there. This horse never tried the turf before, so coming off is not really a big issue. Street Sense obviously likes the off tracks as well. So Street Boss likes the off tracks as well. So from a pedigree perspective, that looks pretty big. I had the 9 is my other must use in there. It's a curling horse that has been successful on the mud, 4 starts, 1 second, 2/3. Thought that was a little bit interesting as well, but I don't think you need to go very deep in that 7th race either.
Well, and if you're singling in the 8th, that gives you that luxury to play a bit of a longer price and try to kind of take a shot in that race. So I get it. I definitely get it.
All right, everybody. That's going to wrap it up here for Dudes Who Bet Daily today. Thank you very much for joining us. We will be back tomorrow at noon Eastern with best bets across the horse racing and sports world. Looking forward to Keeneland starting tomorrow. So we'll cover all of the Keeneland stakes, or graded stakes, I should say, because it get a little wacky if we cover all of them once those cards start going. And don't forget, you have the Turf Pick 3 coming back at Keeneland as well. Great bet, 3 turf races over at Keeneland, $3 minimum bet, low takeout. So that is definitely one you want to check out. Appreciate everyone for checking this out. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe to know every time we're going to go live. And today is going to be one of those busy days. So, Aaron, I will let you take it away first with what the schedule is on your end, and then I'll talk a little about what we're doing.
Well, Papa Dude and I will do Dudes Who Bet Sports. I texted him before we got on the show and said, when do you want to do it? He didn't reply. So I don't know what it's going to be.
I've been really busy. I really have. So
we have to do it sometime between noon and 4. So actually we'd have to start about 3, noon and 3. So sometime around there, we'll do Dudes Who Bet Sports, and then blinkers off at 5 or 6 is what I've heard. So we'll see.
So blinkers off is screwing up our shows.
I don't know what that was.
Welcome to the club, Papa Dude. Welcome to the club, man.
Yeah, blinkers off is always a floating time. Yeah, so somewhere around noon to 3.
I can do the show anytime. So
we're gonna do the show maybe like 1 o'clock today.
There you go. 1 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock Eastern for Dudes Who Bet Sports. It sounds like we're gonna have a 6 o'clock show or 7 o'clock show Eastern for blinkers off. We've got the Magic Mike show that will be at 5 o'clock, because it's always at 5 o'clock to make it easy for everybody who wants to tune in. We're going to be covering the All Stakes Pick 5 from Keeneland on Saturday. So if you want to talk about Keeneland Saturday card, make sure you come back and you check that out. And then Slim and I will be back for the Slim and Samo Betapalooza at halftime of this wonderful Thursday night football weekend we have. We'll give out our best bet for the second half. I'll give out my best bet for the NFL weekend. By the way, 3-1 in the second half, 4-0 in those best bets in the NFL. So make sure you're checking that out. Slim also will give away 2 of his props that he's going to be playing over the NFL weekend as well. So make sure you're checking out the Slim and Samo Betapalooza. You can find that on Twitter or on YouTube at halftime of the Thursday night football game. All right, let's go over the bets here. Papa Dude going to the Colts Broncos, going under 42. Aaron going with Denver -3. I'm going to take the race 8, number 3 at Belmont at Aqueduct. Bank on Anna. 1-1-1 yesterday, -$20. Really pissed at that under. I don't know if you guys were watching that hockey game. There were 4 goals with 2 minutes left in that game. And Washington scores and then banks an empty netter in, or else we would have a nice little start to the week. Yeah. Anyway, we're still up $2,514 for the year off, $100 base bet. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. We will be back tomorrow at noon Eastern with best bets from Keeneland, from everywhere, all that jazz. Dude, Zion Williams lost like 70 pounds.
He looks good.
He looks good. I sent it side by side to Aaron. I'm like, it looks like he. Well, we're not going to say what he looks like. Anyway, he lost a lot of weight. He's looking awfully good. It'll be fun to see NBA starting. We got pucks. We got basketball. It's all coming. This is a fun time to be a sports fan. All right, everybody. We will see you tomorrow.